Office of the Medical Examiner, Beatsville. Dr. Jack Hanman is speaking. How can I help you?
Good evening, this is Kate Brooks. I'm not sure if you remember me. A few weeks ago, we talked about an article I'm working on. It's about your wife. I dropped by last Friday to speak to you, but you weren't working at the time. I asked the security guard to pass on a note for me. I would like us to discuss the topic of...
I thought I had made it painfully obvious for the last time. No! Please don't call me again and stop inquiring about my wife. Damn journalists. They don't let me work. God damn it. I'm not in the best frame of mind to record a lecture for my students now. I'm feeling completely broken. Where did I leave my meds this time? Okay. And get back to work. I need to set up the camera first. This place is starting. Hopefully the new tribe. Now, I never this. Hello, everyone. Let's start. Let's start the in the dirt. And in case of it's true that you won't get ptomaine poisoning straight away, the deceased's name. It took that. It's this a lot. I shouldn't start the procedure with that. Aha! There you are. As I mentioned at the beginning, before we begin, voila, now we move on. Take your time. Look at the corpse from different sides, from different angles. Boiler yield wound. Some wounds in the feet, and probably because the subject's shoes were too small. Hardened hand. That's it. In a moment, we will check which of our initial observations will be worthy of further consideration. But before we get to that, I need to write down some basic data. First, as you can have this. So let's no. We can hold. So far, there are a lot of slip. First, I marked the head wound, even though that we're not in Frosty if Toby's body. The safety. Then we take our deceit. Now let it go. As you can see, the hand falls. Death must have occurred more than 72 hours ago. The police information appears correct. For this, I need an oscillating saw. The cut is made from ear. After which, we remove the skin and the top. Some pathologists prefer. No. Holding a long, narrow blade knife in the dominant hand, we slowly cut the cranial nerves on both sides, all the time pulling the brain towards us. So far, so good. The hema. We can rule the fatal accident out as well. Brain is in good condition, so we have no choice but to proceed to the internal exam. The incision should be in the shape of a letter Y. Alright, now we peel back and separate the skin. Now, we need to remove the ribs. We can see widespread black and tar. Despite the tragic condition of the lungs, they are not the cause of death. Alice smoked too. What now? The syringe. Now's a good time to collect some samples. Specifically, 5 milliliters from the left ventricle should do it. Vitreous humor analysis is very useful in indicating long-term alcohol abuse. But from the bladder, we draw about 10 milliliters of fluid. Now we take our samples to the centrifuge, but before I do that, I need to find my notebook. My dyscalculia means that I always double-check the setting. This whole thing is covered in stains. I should check this out under them. We put all of the samples into the rotor. Now, we set the appropriate time and speed. Okay, let's roll. Oh shit. The fuses. Where were we? Oh yeah, let's see what we've got here. Everything's separated as it should. Our lab is closed until tomorrow after the last, incident. However, we look for dark hypoxic areas, clots, or other elements that stand out as abnormal. At first glance, the heart looks fine. There are no pathological changes that would have contributed. Size is normal, and as expected, the stomach has no major external damage. We must now cut it open and inspect it. We will do it carefully. We open the stomach along the greater curvature, from the heart to the pyloric end. Oh, I already feel like there's something left inside. Okay, either or it looks. One of the. I'll let. At first glance, the same result as with the stomach. The external inspection doesn't tell us anything. This time we'll cut on a tray. While cutting such a small organ as the trachea, we must make a precise incision to be able and based on the report that the deceased. Then, the gastric contents refluxed and flooded the airways, causing that. And now it's all clear. The mystery is solved. But for us, this is not for. For this, we will need to close the body and grab the needle, and then I'm using the baseball stitch technique. This stitching method is very strong and quick to do. Now we say goodbye to the deceased and put them safely in the fridge, ready for the next stage of their journey. God, I'm tired. I'll drop these samples off at the. I'll call Steven. I don't feel like drinking alone today. Forgive me. What? Christ. What a dream. Fuck. So much light everywhere. A pill a day. It's a shame these won't. Well, that was a bit unexpected. I should probably find something to send. These were from Thanksgiving. Stephen and Allison, Charlotte in Amsterdam. It's hard to believe they've known each other for so long. Oh shit. Almost left the door open. These fluorescent tubes are brutal. I hope this helps, Charlotte. Okay. All done here. Time to go. Huh? Good evening, Mr. Ridley. Christ. So I'd better check the answering machine. Earth. Okay. Hey. You were on that talent show. Steve. November 21st, 1990. Ah, yes. Samantha Barker. Now I remember. When questioned, friends after her first album became the deceased was found in her own apartment during the interrogation. Found in her own apartment. Officers were called. Okay, now we can continue with the examination. Again, begin by taking photographs of the cadaver. I guarantee that over time. First, we photograph the whole body. And now, any suspicious-looking marks or wounds. Yes, I've seen this many times. Interesting. Very uneven. You don't get such bruises from a normal contusion. Well, there's even more here. A few we will need to look into here. Notes prepared. Time to take a closer look. Some fat. Or this. We have some leads to investigate here. Let's write this down. On the neck, currently it's in general, so although it's easier to have abrasions on your given the condition of the what. The examination with a UV lamp will dispel some a blood test will no doubt quickly verify. But first I'll check for external traces. For this we use the good I look carefully at the whole body. UV rays will reveal any traces. The area around the head is empty. The left hand now we take the deceased by the hand. And we check for rigor mortis. Again, the hand falls freely. After yesterday, since we... So, I'm starting the internal inspection. I dissect the skin of the deceased. And I proceed to deflect the skin flaps. Compared with yesterday's body, now for the ribs. What do we have here? Or rather, what don't we have? There is certainly no sign of internal bleeding. Sometimes regarding bruising, it doesn't take much. My wife was constantly banging into furniture, walking into door frames. That's a wonder she never broke anything. But I'll transfer these to the... Numbers have never been my... Gently does it with this old thing. Handle with kid glove. I'm starting... The laboratory is already open, so... Fucking hell! My old but trusted centrifuge. Whatever. I know where the switch first, the right. And voila. What the... oh, for fuck's sake. Can't I work in peace? Ideal for all the fluid tests I need to perform during an autopsy. Jack Hanman speaking.
Easy, why so rude?
Steve? Sorry, man. This place is falling apart, and Ridley won't even lift a finger to help. You just can't work here.
Did the centrifuge strip the fuses again?
Yeah, eventually everything's gonna go up in smoke.
Look on the bright side. It's a free cremation with your autopsy.
Jesus, stop it. That shit pisses me off.
Okay, sorry, Jack. Anyway, I'm calling to ask how the autopsy's going. Soon there'll be journalists sniffing around for info, so we'd best be ready.
I'll whiz through this in a couple of hours. It doesn't look like a complicated case to me. More of a formality. The report will be available in the morning.
Sounds great. Thanks. Phew! How's your head?
Well, my head seems better than yours. On the way to work.
Holy fuck. Jack, turn on the radio.
What? What's happening?
Quiet.
A 3-car police convoy was involved in an accident near Pete's Bay Bridge while transporting prisoners to Orleans Parish Prison. At the moment, we do not know the exact number of victims or whether any of the convicts escaped. However, the scale of the accident indicates a large number of victims, possibly even fatal ones. Police are on their way to investigate the incident and secure the area. We know that the injured prisoners are on death row. The police were to transport them to their execution, which was to take place tomorrow morning. Many of them are very dangerous criminals. We will report on the matter on an ongoing basis, so stay tuned with us.
What? Was... Steven... Was Red Pete one of the passengers? He was, wasn't he? What if he survived?
Jack, I have to go. They want me on site.
What if he survived?
I gotta go. Talk to you later, okay?
Fuck. Calm down, Jack. Lots of victims. Yes. Nothing's going to happen. Christ. I've got to get back to work. Fucking hell! Alright, let's see if we were able to get anything out of this piece of crap. And miraculous, the sample. I'll transfer them to the chromograph in the lab. Alright, let's load this up. I placed the test tubes in the rack. Now, just take 5 milliliters from each. Precisely. And the next. Five more. We put the prepared sample into the machine. Let's see what we have here. The results indicate that the deceased did consume alcohol. The chromatograph results show that we can eliminate alcohol poisoning from our list of potential causes of death. However, it also... First, I'll pick up the syringe again. I'll take samples from the liver and the heart to test the concentration of barbiturates in the body. That's enough. I'll do the test later. I'd best not try now. No lesions. However, it is slightly... I'll move on to a cross-sectional study. Perhaps the enlargement is the result of early cancerous changes. The blade glides through smoothly. I don't feel like I'm encountering any changes with an unusual structure. No steatosis or so. The liver is basically healthy. We already know that the deceased didn't abuse alcohol. The question is... I move on to the heart. Oh. At a glance, we can see signs of a heart attack. The deceased is definitely too young to have a heart attack due to natural causes. The liver is enlarged. The last time I saw this kind of poisoning was a few years ago. I better check the data in my notebook. He was a middle-aged guy. He took his medications. Alright. We close the centrifuge and pray that it doesn't trip anything again. It looks like our luck is in. We can take the sample. I wonder how she was able to get hold of these drugs. Okay. 6 milliliters each. Well, let's see. Look. The tests showed that the collected blood contained enough barbiturates to cause cardiopulmonary collapse. The question now, I'm proceeding to examine the stomach. Before extraction, I ligate the entire organ to prevent its contents from spilling out. Okay, I'm now cutting out the organ, which will move to the board for dissection. Normally, the stomach and intestines are full of surprises. But not we. Length and width normal. No obvious pathological changes. The direct cause of death was probably the deceased's straight lungs are normal, no lesions. The deceased's intestine is normal, no clear pathological changes. Abdominal cavity checked off. I make a cut to open the lid of the victim's skull and remove the brain. Brain is normal, no obvious lesions. Alright, I need to dissect it on a board. Using a knife, I carefully cut through the brain tissue. I peek inside a bit. As expected, the deceased's brain is in excellent condition. No discoloration or changes due to health. There is still the matter of the marks on the neck. They look superficial, but who knows? Alice. What? I get the feeling that searching through this rubbish is more. Fuck. Why? Jack, take a deep breath. Deep, pleasantly cool breath. You're nearly finished with the autopsy. Then you can go home and rest. I'll take the saw. Fuck! It's jammed! Doesn't anyone do maintenance around here? Damn hatch. Damn red Pete. Light, if only. It would be easier if I put things away properly. Damn student lectures and their fucking and like. So I hope they help. Is removed. I can see that the spinal cord was not severed. This shows that apart from the marks around the neck, hanging didn't negatively affect the condition of the deceased. Ladies and gentlemen, almost over. Now, to sum up and tidy away the body. At home, it was a help and comfort. On death row, a farewell to the... Well, thank... Tired. I glove. Like that. this block. Almost so now. What? What the? Why? Who the fuck did this? I don't have anything valuable. Money. Fuck! That. Oof. I'm gonna. Stephen. That's not good. I still don't understand why Alice liked this painting so much. Maybe I could barricade. Alice's family. I'm gonna be late for work again. Got my... Time to go. Oh. No. Well, he would. Almost there. Now for the tough part. The body needs to be moved. Where's Ridley when you need him? Alright. I just need some gloves and my apron. Then I'm going to need my tape recorder for this. Autopsy. It's most likely Harper Lloyd. Firefighters found the body after the Chelsea family. Police records also show that Mrs. It is also known that the deceased was diagnosed. I carefully removed the one shoe was missing. I'm going to need the camera to document all possible. Definitely the first thing that stands out. The skin of the deceased appears very delicate, smooth and relaxed from post-mortem markings are seen on the... It's likely that the deceased... There are people... The so-called washerwoman's skin on the feet. The deceased had indeed been in the water for a long time. There are some obvious scratches on the skin. The skin on the hand is... So, after the preliminary today's date, the deceased was clothed. We see not this, which okay, that's probably enough to. I'd better note that marks that those abrasions appear. Their dust hands have diffuse spots. Considering the deceased's penchant for drinking alcohol, it could have been a mere accident. In this case, maybe their force liver mortis a simple trip. I'll make sure the suggested identity is correct. The suitcase with the fingerprinting. The finger can make fingerprints illegible if the bot fit with. I'm going to conduct a dactyloscopic examination. If in fact the deceased is in the police database, I will find her. Glycerin is injected successively between the nail and the skin of each finger. The substance then enters the fingertip, removing shrinkage and wrinkles. Now I take a brush. Only when the skin is taut and elastic can you use ink. I'll use the fax machine to add the print into the system. Green button, and I wasn't but the world. I'll run the great. The data is there. Click upload. Now go through the database and find a matching print. One more. Analyze button. And F. So, I was at the world one. Great. Now, I'm adding the name of the deceased. I'll start the internal examination. A needle inserted through the nose will do the trick. If the victim was alive when she fell into the well, she must have swallowed water fighting for her life, and then diatol. In the meantime, I'll check the sample under the microscope. I'm sure that these algae traces will be found. Now I need to adjust the knob. I won't even notice an army of diatoms from... Oh, I'm finally starting. And perfect. It's not a dirty lens, and it's not a dirty lens, and as expected, we find that which the presence of diatoms in the brain samples taken indicate that the deceased was certain. Since there were diatoms in the brain, I must be extra careful because the skin of the deceased is very stretched. I wouldn't want an explosion here. You can immediately see a very large swelling of the organ. It's easy to see that the ribs have been If diatoms were only present in the lungs, this would mean that the victim was placed in the well after taking the lungs in my hand. I feel that the tissues have lost their elasticity, which is the result of water emphysema. In addition, there is significant swelling of the organs, and as a result, we have a nice corpses found in water are worth examining with the tomograph. However, I can't count on such luxuries, so I must reach for a more archaic technology. A bucket and water. Ooh, I hope no one dipped it. Historically, the lung float test is used to detect infanticide. Oh, Jesus. The water That's enough. To test for this. Of course, such a study isn't without flaws. Air may have entered a newborn's airways during resuscitation attempts. Gas is released during. In this case, however, it's about something else. Namely, the amount of fluid in the lungs. To test for this, I have to place the lungs in a container of water and wait to see if they fall or if they will float on the surface. Just as I assumed, the lungs collapsed easily. Fluid could have entered the lungs during panic attempts to catch breath underwater, but it could also be the result of bacterial infections or cancer, so further investigation is needed. I move on to dissecting the lungs of the deceased. You can hear the distinct, very unpleasant crackling of the tissues. The parenchyma is remarkably pale. Now, let's see. I won't even notice an army of diatoms. Oh, I'm fine. It's not a dirty and perfect. It's not a and perfect. It's not a dirty lens, I'm afraid. And perfect. As expected. It's not and perfect. There are smaller and larger clusters of I'll make a note of all this. So far, this case looks pretty standard. It's clear from the beginning that it's drowning. Well, the procedure requires. So, I move on to checking the other organs. I like strongly developed putrefactic hemolysis of the organ can be seen at first glance. Apart from that, I move on to the next organ. This time, it's immediately apparent that the beginnings of cirrhosis are visible in some areas. The cross-section, I must have. Harper enjoyed drinking so much that she might not have lasted a few more years. I move on to the stomach. I take a sample of the fluid for testing. It looks very turbid. I'll see what happens after spinning, but that's in a moment. Now, I carefully ligate the organ, then cut it off. It's enlarged, probably full of putrid gases. I transfer to the board and carefully open it, checking the contents. One thing you'd never get used to is how much this task smells. Okay, so let's check the diatoms. Again, but in a centrifuge for a change. The problem with examining drowned people is being able to show whether the death was due to drowning or whether something else contributed to the death. Cramp, heart attack, drugs, homicide, or some accident. Such an analysis requires viewing from different angles and a careful interpretation of the collected data. Okay, this is one last little sample. Now, set. Done. And run it. I'm certain the analysis will show similarities between the fluid and water in Chelsea's well. Let me think. 3 milliliters should be fine. Okay, now it's the chromatograph's turn. Well, the results are quite clear. I was hoping it would be a more interesting case. More diatoms. Analysis indicates the same origin, blah blah blah. There's little interesting. Looks like there's something stuck in the trachea. I'm moving to the board for further. I dissect the trachea and open the organ. Inside, based on the size, I can say that it's a woman's wedding ring. Quite the... What the But how did it, but they should be at home. What? Jesus, huh? I have to check the apartment. It can't be. Jesus.
No.
Where? Please, it's not here. It's not. I need to go. This is sick. Come on, Steven. Pick up the fucking phone.
What's up, man?
They took the ring.
What? What ring? What are you talking about?
They took the wedding ring. Alice's wedding ring.
One sec. You mean burglary? You said nothing was missing.
Yes, I know that. I don't know. I was jittery. Maybe I didn't notice. I don't know, but that's not the worst of it.
Calm down, Jack. Breathe. What happened?
I found it in the trachea of the deceased I was working on. Do you understand? I pulled it out of a dead woman's trachea.
What?
I don't know what's going on. You think Red Pete wants revenge? He's playing with me. Huh? I knew it. I knew it from the beginning this was going to happen. I didn't make it up!
Jack, listen to me. Try to calm down. Don't leave the apartment. I'll be with you right away, okay? I'm on my way.
What sane person would do something like that? How? And when? When the fuck? Fucking Ridley lets in whoever he likes as usual. What are you saying? Steven? Don't leave me, man. Come on. Fuck. Oh. Jesus. What's going on? Just one sip more. Yep. Jesus. Just one sip more. Okay. All right. Yes. Damn. Ugh. Why is it... Oh shit. Almost left the door open. Yeah, maybe. Christ, this one's heavy. Hey, Mr. Ridley, I need help. I can't lift this bag myself. James Evans had previously... The body was found The body was found naked. Police... Sounds disturbing. I wonder what condition the body is in then. Oh, fuck. This is going to be a dirty job. Maybe there will be something worth noting about the victim's clothes. What? Classic jeans. Certainly not my style. Is this? Oh, after all, what else could I expect? Weird. So interesting. Something stuck here. Look, ectasis. Scale? This could point to mainly traces of soil. It's a bit like the bloodstains don't appear to be related to a lighter engraved with stolen, or maybe purchased from a pawn shop. Traces of dirt, and here, another. The only thing I can tell from the clothes is when he... Okay, they seem too different. Dorothy once brought an animal encyclopedia here. She performed an autopsy on an exotic animal smuggler. The guy suffered an accident while transporting illegal animals. Not only were the police needed on site, but it took nearly a day to round up his cargo. Dorothy had a hard time with that case. Who is that? Local wow. Oh, that was quick. Nile crocodile. No way. I would expect something so or if it some the deceased skin is smooth and taut. This suggests an advanced state. It's unlikely that a human would. Nasty. Such a wound could not have occurred during the victim's lifetime. There are also clear traces of the deceased ankles being bound in some way. Evans couldn't have tied himself up like that. It looks like some sort of attack or kidnap. Oh, and as expected, there's a bite. This wound appears to have been made by a sharp instrument. No head. That's not hard to miss. This... I need to gather my thoughts together. It's like, I wonder whether the decapitation... I should inspect these areas, the work of animal. This looks very prominent. The bite is clearly visible. It should be easy to compare with the encyclopedia and identify the culprit. I hope I put it in right. I can never remember whether it was image up or image down. At university. Just some tracing paper, a pencil, and I can check these in the encyclopedia. Now, did I leave them in a drawer? Or maybe a box somewhere? Ugh. I don't remember if I left them out somewhere. Archives. Just as lifeless as the corpses they concern. Oh. A very... Makes sense. I should make some notes and start the autopsy. Ugh. And look for... I need to... Looks like... It looks like... I need a tool with dental impression cement. Can I find it here? No. It's probably lying somewhere around in the lab. I hope the cement hasn't expired. Now I need to cover the bite area. Wait until it hardens. Well. Brush, ink, similar to taking fingerprints. Paint over the area. And... that's very... I'll run it through the fax and check it on the computer. I really don't want to believe what I'm seeing. Loading. What? Wow. This is, well, this is quite unexpected. Human teeth. Oh, fuck. I need to tell this to Stephen. Loading. It'll probably take a while. Maybe not everything is cataloged correctly. Loading. It'll probably take a while. Loading. It'll probably take a while. Oh. I'm afraid this will remain a mystery. I'm going back to the body. You can see that they look quite sharp. Torn tissue. This wound turned out to... I need the perfect the abdominal and genital. Time for internal analysis. Finally. First of all, I'll try to with the scalpel. We see a lot of fat tissue under the skin. When I remove the ribs, the deceased smoked cigarettes. But more importantly, that the... And this is the culprit. Well, it didn't look like the holes were that deep. Open pneumothorax should be added to this. The deceased could have experienced extreme hypoxia. I wonder what the organ is enlarged with very clear, no signs of heart attack. But similarly to the lungs, there is a trace of puncture with a sharp object. In Evan. The organ is fatty and enlarged. The beginnings of cirrhosis are obvious. Well, that's it. This time, nothing to write home about. Like most other organs, it is fatty and clearly enlarged, not to mention swollen, partially due to gases, but mainly due to the deceased's lifestyle. I take the organ to the cutting board. The outside is in... It sounds like there's an unusually large amount of undigested, and now rotten stomach contents in... which means... the trachea left to be surprisingly, it's not damaged by the decapitation. I move on to cutting it open. Okay. I carefully cut, and blood. Let me tie this together. After he was abducted, stripped, and tied up, he was dealt several penetrating blows to the chest. Then his head was cut off. Evans was deprived of his genitals, and the body served as an easy meal for the animals. Even though there are a lot of injuries on the body that could cause death, it was the oh well. It's really bothering me. Something's not right here. Because even now, the organs are relatively clean. The skin I'll leave these questions for the police to solve. And now, I get to head home. It's a fucked up thing. I'll hold off taking long walks in the forest for the near future. I have a feeling that it won't end with just one body. Good night, Mr. Ridley. I think it's the first time in a long time that I finished work at a decent hour. Oh, come on. Fuck. Fuck.
What?
What's wrong? I just want to sleep. It would be easier just to move in and live here. Huh? Damn.
But you.
Okay. One by one, Jack. Take it easy. Oh, I'm burning. This is making me nervous. Oh, well. It's something. Oh, Yes. So, the exact cause of the fire has not yet been. The body was not found until the next morning. The deceased was sitting in an armchair. Firefighters indicated that it was probably the large quantity of. We'll leave it like that for now. This position is called this. The fire reaches the. There. The muscles contract. The up. Just. The deceased must now be the deceased, which explains why. That's better. It's easier to straight with the deceased. as for the other... No. The rope... And... All in all, quite a lot can be deduced from this external examination. So the tissue of the mouth was heavily... Traces failed in severe. He appears to be loose. The length of the rope was calculated. The neck burns to the jaw, and this wounds on the perhaps the... It may... We need to check the damage it has done to... Due to the amount of... What up? You guessed it. Please... Okay. It's going well. Maybe in this drawer. I'll warm this up. Once the devices have been placed... okay. From which will be scanned into... You see, it seems so... On the plus side, we don't have to worry about the gag reflex. And no... I wasn't sure it would amount to anything, but the World Wide Web has been a blessing for speeding up my work. Wow. I wasn't sure, but the World Wide Web has been a blessing for speeding up my work. Okay, and we can move on to dissecting the body. This time, I'll slice it. Let me start here. I push hard several times until I cut a given section. You can see that using a scalpel would be pointless here. Solid crunch. Almost there. Now we peel back the skin. And we can check out what's going on in here. And I see that a lot has happened. In fact... I think I saw one. Why can't that? Mr. Jeez. I don't know what this was for. Rusty. Scrap! God! Where is this infernal machine? Wow, that can... I swear I'm going to have an accident here one day. Like Alice, when she twisted her ankle on those stairs. We were supposed to go to the mountains then. That was supposed to be our first trip since... And... So, we... Yeah, I cannot... these... Ah, screw it. There might be something in here. Yep. I'm sure I wrote the code down on a piece of paper. And my memory for number... Ah, what do we have here? Oh. That is about here. There's been a bit too much going on lately. Focus on your... All right. So, let's connect the tube. We turn on the machine. With this amount of fluid, there's no point in holding it back. Still a few nooks and crannies left. External examinations did not reveal any tissue defects that would reach the internal organs. So, I expect the organs to be intact. In a way, it's quite extraordinary. That even with... The organs are all present and correct. A reddish-pink tint indicates high carboxyhemoglobin levels, the level of which I will determine from a sample of blood. I will be inserting needles into the heart and femoral artery. What interests me here is not the presence of this substance itself, but rather its... But first, I'll need the values for the centrifuge. Ideal for all the fluid tests I need to perform during an autopsy. Ugh. I feel like I've been here forever. Jack, focus. Just a little bit longer. Corpses recovered from the site of fire may have very different and complex histories. Burning is only at the surface. Underneath, it may be a heart attack, stroke, or pulmonary embolism. This particular case appears quite basic. However, again... The centrifuge has completed its cycle. Ugh. What exactly was I supposed to test for? COHB. I'll take 2 milliliters of each sample. Ugh. All right, I'll note this down and perform a check of the organs. What? Where? Mr. Ridley? Something strange. What? I saw. We can now be sure that the carboxyheme of the organ has a reddish pink tint, which results from the concentration of COHB and general congestion of the organ. Other than... I can cross this off my list now. From the outside, just like the heart, it is congested, and the color indicates poisoning. Thermal damage is visible here and there. Enough of the external exam. It's time to grab the knife and dissect the lungs. I need to check for any Jesus. All right. So let's complete the notes. The color is the same as the rest of the organs. Significant congestion. Okay. There we go. Let's deal with the final notes, and we're ready. I considered the direct cause of death to be severe carbon monoxide poisoning, leading to extreme Just need to add my John Hancock, and sew up the body. Trying not to damage what's left of the skin. As for stitching, well, it varies. It can be so for this job, a thicker needle and heavy-duty thread. Well, after storing the body... what? Oh, fuck, urine sample. Oh. As he... Fuck.
Which part?
And it... Oh, strong. Oh, fuck. Can't you hear all this commotion? Are you deaf? My flowers. Every Here. Remember, investigators determined the body was lying in the ground. According to the information, a friend at the... I'll move on to undressing the deceased. The deceased's skin. The deceased is... The deceased... Lots of... The deceased is... The palm and front of the hand is covered with numerous wounds. You can see that Alice has been through a lot. Why? The over... The deceased... This injury, it seems, some of the wound. It appeared we do not know the exact circumstance. The stitching doesn't appear fresh. Amber appears to have suffered extensive toxicology. Even though I'll check the infection. It is unknown how much strong and Alice, you know that I would never. Jack, breathe. It's just... Pull yourself together. There are no... You can see that more traces of the perpet... the police... maybe. Fuck! What's going on here? Have I lost my mind? I must have gone crazy. Huh? Oh, these balls. Telephone? What phone?
Oh no.
How many days is it? It all rolls into one. Now fire it up. Oh, now center it between the eyes at the root of the nose. Okay. All right. I just... internal on... drive connected. Now I can print it. But why can't I see the wound? Let there be light. Damn. And now it's all broken. Great. Fuck. Don't you wish? I'll need the... But... And... Either I'm getting weak, or the maintenance crew needs a talking to. Or... Jesus. I'm feeling dizzy. I'm exhausted. God damn it. It's actually holding up. Well. Something new in this... something's a crank. Alright. Now, just to crank it up. I'll just... I think I've had enough. I shouldn't even be here. Not today. I guess that's enough. Nice. Another pick list. My head. What just happened? What the fuck? Who tied me up?
It's only for a moment. Sorry, man.
Steven? What the fuck do you mean?
Think I hit you too hard with that shovel.
Oh, haha, great fucking joke. Untie me now. I don't have the energy for your shitty games.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
I don't understand. Steven, what do you mean? This has got to be some kind of mistake.
You and your moaning, you and your problems. You're not the victim here.
But...
Shut up! Can you shut your mouth for just one fucking second? To me, you are just a murderer.
What?
What? Knocked down? You thought I didn't know anything?
I don't have any idea what you're talking about! Steven!
My poor sister. Even now, you can't muster up any courage, any honesty. You disgust me. I suspected you from the beginning. As soon as I found out that Alice is dead, I knew it was you. Tumors, aneurysms, unexplained circumstances. Who are you trying to fool? For God's sakes, you're a doctor!
Steven, no. It doesn't work like that.
Shh! I haven't finished talking. Why did you lie, Jack? Why didn't you say anything? You confessed! I knew I had to do something about it myself. Any of this making any sense yet? Threats? A ring? Photos? Red Pete on the loose? He died in that accident, by the way.
You sick fuck.
Yes, I am! You've no clue just how much. Oh, I'm on some fantastic fucking drugs for it. Only, I've been slipping them to you. I was hoping to break you down, that you'll be pushed into doing something drastic to yourself, and I'll just stand there and watch.
Her tumor was incurable.
That's a filthy lie.
This... It was only a matter of time.
Again, lying!
I saw the scans.
You know what? I think I've had enough of your bullshit.
All right. Okay. I lied, but hear me out. We had an argument that day. Worse than usual. I was drunk. And I was angry. There was a fight. I pushed her against the wall. She hit her head and she fell. Yes. Just like that. Limp and lifeless. I panicked. I thought, I don't know. I didn't think at all. I was afraid I had caused it. That someone will accuse me. That it'll be the end of my career. When I called an ambulance, it was too late. Way too late.
It wasn't an accident.
And then I lied. I said that's how I found her. That I wasn't there with her. And now, there's not a day that goes by that I don't think about it. Everything. This whole year. Just dead memories. As if I didn't exist at all. Since that day.
Fuck, here we go again. Even now. Even now, you have the nerve to lie.
Steven, I'm sorry. I suffered too.
It wasn't an accident. You understand now? Someone has to pay for this.
What's going on here? Steven dropped the gun.
It's none of your business, Sean. Leave and forget you saw anything.
Steve, you know I can't do that.
Mr. Ridley, please, run!
Shut up!
You know I'll shoot if I have to.
Well, in that case, that's two of us.
Steven, no!